Today we will talk about 4 mistakes I used to make when organizing my lecture notes. As someone who wasn't really good at studying at the beginning, these are the things I wish I knew sooner in university. 1 year ago, I made videos about organizing my notes from start to finish. We discussed the importance of understanding the concept during the lecture, trimming down your notes into small pieces, and create a question bank. But today I want to dive down into the mistakes I used to make throughout this process. I will also share with you 4 techniques that help me to be more productive and eventually lead to better grades. If you're new here, my name is Wen Kai. I'm a recent graduate from University of Alberta, studying psychology and sociology. For the past 3 years, I worked closely with students from all over the world and helped them to achieve academic success and personal growth. During my first year, I would write down every tiny thing my professor said during the lecture, and when I saw other students typing and writing, I would do the same immediately. I bet some of you are doing the same thing. Indeed, this method helped to capture as many information as possible, but without understanding and consciously selecting, there is a lack of accountability in our notes. First, we don't know what we are writing about. Second, without consciously selecting, we're not sure if this information is important or not. Writing a note is like trying to hit the bullseye in a shooting arcade. Too much noise and bias would affect the accuracy of our notes. For example, B.F. Skinner attended Harvard University in 1926 and later received PhD in 1931. It's a fun fact, but not essential. While in the lecture, try to ask yourself, can examiner turn those definitions, concepts, or studies into exam questions? The second mistake might be cliche to you, but I underestimate the importance of retrieval practice. In the past, I thought if I want to be a good student, I have to rewrite my notes. At least that's what I have seen on social media. Because of that, I spent 3 to 4 hours every day rewriting my notes. I was naive to think that making sense of my notes equal to remembering them. Later on, I realized retrieval practice, such as using flashcard, active recall, or doing practice questions, is the way of enhancing long-term retention.
Let's talk about another study, a more recent one. This one's from 2010, and again, they split students up into 2 groups. One group were going to have a practice test, and the other group were just going to restudy the material using whatever method they wanted, most likely rereading, highlighting, and summarizing, which, as we've seen from other studies, are the most popular revision techniques for students. And this study was interesting because it tested students on both the facts and concepts. Here is the group that just restudied the material normally, and these are their results. So, hovering between kind of 30 and 40% because they just studied the material once and then, had a test a week later. And here is the group that studied the material, had a little practice test at the end of it, and then had the same test a week later. And these are their results.
Don't get me wrong, writing notes does help us to understand our notes better. But without testing ourselves, we would never be able to contain all those information. So first, take notes through the lens of examiner, then turn your notes into questions so you can test yourself later. I would encourage you to spend at least 20 to 60 minutes for retrieval practice on a daily basis.
By the way, one piece of research said 80% of your study time is best spent reciting and only 20% reading. Activity can also take the form of recitation, teaching another person. Now, some of you may not have anybody at home to teach, or they are not interested. Too bad. Teach an empty chair. Thinking is internal talking to a large degree. Dialogue with that empty chair, practice it, writing it out in your own words.
Active recitation is not only good for better retention of information, it's also a great mental cue for organizing our notes. This is a lesson I learned during my 3rd year. I thought I would never use my notes once I finished the courses, but the reality is many concepts we are learning at the moment are crucial for our future courses and career. For example, suppose you are taking an introductory statistic, many formulas you'll learn or concepts would also apply to your future psychology, sociology, or any research-based courses. Can you understand your notes 5 years from now? If not, how can you make it simpler? Taking notes is not just about writing whatever your professors say, but a skill of consciously selecting useful information within limited time. It's a skill that not only leads to better grades, but also become a better listener. But here's the catch. It takes time to get better. It's like doing exercise. It takes time to see the result, even when doing everything right. It's totally understandable if you're feeling stressed because of your grades or you just don't know how to take notes properly. But remember, you will get better. And that day will come sooner than you think. Having the beliefs of the things you learn today will be useful for the rest of your lifetime. I guess that's why we're taking notes in the first place. Remember lessons that truly matter.